At the beginning of this story, we are shown a small village in South Africa, where the villagers are busy working in their fields. Suddenly, a man suffers a heart attack and dies on the spot. His brother, who is also a farmer, is present there and becomes deeply heartbroken by his brother's death. Afterward, the villagers perform all the rituals that are done after someone's death, and then the farmer returns home, where he lives with his wife, daughter, and son. His daughter's name is William, a very intelligent boy. William has a great interest in fixing radios. That's why he is always busy repairing the radios of his friends and people around the village. When he goes to school, the principal lines up all the students and announces that whoever hasn't paid their school fees will be expelled. William's father is already in a very bad financial condition and hasn't paid the school fees for a long time. William's class teacher, who secretly likes William's sister, tells him that he needs to pay the fee soon, otherwise he'll be kicked out of school. But William knows his father doesn't have enough money to pay the fee. Yet William desperately wants to study. He's truly passionate about learning. His mother, however, wants him to help his father in the fields. One night, while William is studying, darkness fills the room, and he asks his mother for some oil to light the lantern. But she refuses, saying, "I can't give you oil just for studying. We have to save it for household work. It's important." The next day after school, William goes to a junkyard filled with all kinds of electrical and metal scraps. There he finds a lamp and a battery. He thinks to himself that maybe he can use these things to make a light so he can study at night. The next day, a few men arrive in the village and tell the villagers that they will pay them money if they allow them to cut down the trees in their fields. But the village head refuses. He says, "These trees protect our farms from floods. If we cut them down, the floodwaters will destroy our fields." William's father agrees with the village head, but most of the other farmers sign the papers allowing the men to cut the trees because they are poor and in desperate need of money. Soon, the tree-cutting work begins. That night, William tells his father that he needs money to pay his school fees. But his father sadly says, "Son, I don't have money right now. You'll have to wait until the harvest. Only then I'll have enough to pay your fees." Hearing this, William becomes very upset. The next day, while walking to school with his friend, he notices his teacher's bicycle parked outside. On the bike, there's a light, and William needs a battery like that for his project. But when he checks, he finds there's no battery at all. Instead, there's a small system that makes the light glow when the wheel spins. He can't understand how the light is turning on. Later at school, William and the other kids who haven't paid their fees are expelled. This breaks his heart because he still wants to study no matter what, but he doesn't see any way forward. Around this time, heavy rains begin to fall, flooding his father's fields and destroying the entire crop. His father becomes extremely worried because they barely have enough food left for a short time. In desperation, his father visits a friend and says, "I still have a little money left, and I want to use it to protect my trees so my fields stay safe from the floods." But his friend warns him, "A drought is coming soon. There's already flooding in Kenya. Don't spend your money now. You'll need it when things get worse." William's father receives no help, so he returns home disappointed. Soon after the summer season arrives, the land becomes bone dry. There isn't a single drop of water left, not even dirty water to pour on the fields. William goes back to the junkyard again, where he finds 2 batteries, but they're completely dead. He wants to fix them somehow and power a pump he found earlier, so that he can draw water for his father's crops during the dry season. He secretly goes to school and, after class ends, approaches his teacher to ask, "Sir, how does the light on your bicycle work without a battery?" The teacher explains, "That's an electric dynamo." William doesn't have enough money to buy one, so he asks, "Can I make it myself?" The teacher replies, "Yes, there are books about that in the library. You can learn from them and build your own dynamo." But since William hasn't paid his fees, he's not allowed to enter the library. So he tells his teacher, "I know your secret. You've been visiting my sister. If you want me to keep that secret, you'll have to get me permission to enter the library." The teacher is left with no choice but to agree. He takes William to the librarian and gets him access to the library. As William explores the library, He finds many books related to energy, which could help him learn how to build an electric dynamo. He feels excited and hopeful again. A few days later, the president visits the village. The village chief stands before him and explains their financial struggles and what the village lacks. But the president's men take the chief aside and beat him brutally because they only want the villagers' votes. They don't care about their problems or their poverty. William's father realizes that no one is coming to help them. They have to help themselves. Feeling broken and hopeless, he goes to his field and harvests what's left of the crops. But it's barely enough. They only have food for 2 months and he doesn't know what will happen after that. William's father now takes the tin roof off their house and goes to the market to sell it. There, he hears on the radio that food prices are about to rise sharply because the country is facing a major grain shortage. This news spreads panic among everyone. But the truth was, it was all part of the government's plan, a corrupt scheme where officials lied to the people and made money through deception. William's father soon joins a group of protesters who are marching and shouting slogans against the government. While he is away, 2 trucks arrive in the village loaded with grain. The government had sent them to distribute food to the villagers at very low prices. William's mother gives him some money and sends him to buy food. But while he's gone, a few men come to their house and steal all the grain they had stored from their last harvest. When William's mother discovers this, she breaks down crying. Not a single grain of food is left in the house. After some time, William returns home with a small amount of ration, and shortly after, his father comes back as well. His mother tells them, "From now on, we can only eat once a day. That's the only way this food will last a few more days." The entire family is helpless. The government isn't helping them, and there hasn't been rain in months. One night, William goes to his sister and says, "I know you love my teacher. I want you to ask him for the dynamo attached to his bicycle. With it, I can run a motor pump and bring water to our fields." His sister doesn't reply. But the next day, when William returns home carrying wood, he finds that his sister has left home. His parents are crying, worried and heartbroken. When William goes to her room, he finds that she left the dynamo behind, the same one from her teacher's bicycle. It meant she ran away with the teacher but left the dynamo for her brother. William, with the help of his friends, connects the dynamo to a small windmill. He uses it to power a radio, and when it turns on, everyone becomes thrilled. This small success fills them with hope. Afterward, they all go back to the junkyard to gather more materials for a bigger project. Now William needs a large windmill to power the water pump, and for that he needs a bicycle. He goes to his father and demonstrates how his small windmill and dynamo can make a radio play. But his father doesn't really understand what he's trying to show. William explains that he wants to build a large windmill that can power the water pump, allowing them to irrigate their fields in every season. But for that, he needs his father's bicycle. And once it's used, it'll be cut apart and can never be used again. Hearing this, his father gets angry. He smashes William's small windmill and shouts, "Stop wasting your time with this nonsense. From today, you'll work with me in the fields." William has no choice but to obey and start working alongside his father. Days pass. The family and the entire village are starving. When William returns home one evening, he sees that all his friends are leaving the village. He stops them and says, "We can't leave. We have to stay here. We'll build a big windmill, one that will water our fields every season, and we'll grow crops again." His friends agree to help him. They all go together to William's father to ask for his bicycle once more. But his father yells at them and drives them away. Soon after, bad news arrives. William's grandmother has died. His mother is heartbroken. On top of that, William's dog also dies from hunger, as it hadn't eaten for days. William breaks down completely and cries uncontrollably. His father finally realizes that something must be done. They can't survive like this anymore. He goes to William and says, "I don't see any other way. If you really think you can run the water pump, then take my bicycle. Use it for whatever you need." With his father's permission, William takes the bicycle and has it cut apart to build the main structure for his windmill. The villagers all come together to help him. Using large wooden beams, they build a tall windmill and connect it to the bicycle parts. When the windmill blades start turning, the bicycle wheel spins too, powering the dynamo. This dynamo charges a battery, and after some time, the battery becomes full. They connect it to the water pump, which has a pipe running deep into the well. Suddenly, the pump comes to life, and water begins flowing into the fields. Everyone working in the field stops and stares. Water is running through the dry land for the first time in months. Their joy is beyond words. They can't believe what they're seeing. It was a miracle born of intelligence, determination, and faith. William had done what no one believed possible. His father hugs him tightly, tears in his eyes, filled with pride and emotion. A little later, we see green crops growing again in William's father's fields and across the entire village. Thanks to William's invention, the villagers can now grow crops in every season. William climbs to the top of the windmill and looks over the lush green fields stretching across the land, a sight that fills his heart with pure happiness. Soon, word of his success spreads everywhere. When his school learns about it, they grant William a lifetime scholarship, meaning he can now attend school for free for the rest of his life. Now, subscribe